This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shivaprasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello. Once again, I am privileged to host my Guru, Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu, Guru Tulyulu B.V. Subbarao Garu, and myself and my channels are really privileged today to host them on an important topic. Being a doctor myself into journalism, as our body contains 90% of water, which we daily ignore. If you take proper water, if there is proper water balance in your body, diseases will move away along with proper exposure to sunlight. That means environment. Everything is there in the environment. అంత ప్రకృతిలో ఉంది. శరీరంలో నీరు, పైన బయట సూర్యరశ్మి, గాలి. వాటిని మనం సరిగ్గా తీసుకుంటే ఏ రోగం రాదు. అదేవిధంగా మా ఇద్దరు గురువుతుల్యులు కలిసి గత 3 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి సిన్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ స్టార్టెడ్ ఛానల్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ బీన్ సెలబ్రేటింగ్ ది వరల్డ్ రివర్స్ డే, international world's river day, like that everything concerned with environment, because as water is essential for our body, the same water component in the environment is in the nature is also very important and very fundamental for our survival. The symbiosis between water inside you and water outside in the nature, if you cannot protect, if you do not understand the importance, what will happen, how this water or rivers have been neglected, will be the topic of the day. Hyderabad Democracy Forum and Convergence for Sustainability, as well as DRTSPR channels initiative, with the blessings of my gurus and gurutulyas. Subarna.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you so much. Namaste, Purushottam Reddy Garu, Dr. Shiv Prasad Reddy Garu, and all our viewers and the entire human civilization started on river banks and river valleys. And this land water man relationship, particularly with the rivers, is time immemorial. But this very triangular relationship has undergone metamorphic changes over centuries. How we moved, our perspectives to these water bodies, the dynamic water bodies, particularly the rivers, changed a lot. Today, we only rush to the rivers to clean our sins. Pushkaram, jaake nahalo, punyu palo. Otherwise, we do not care about the rivers. So, what is this? Our attitude, our perspective, our perceptions towards the rivers. And the rivers today, I'm sorry to say, they are on ventilators. These ventilators are nothing but STPs, which is very close to the heart of policymakers, contractors, and engineers. They never consider these rivers as a living entity. They treat this running body as something like an inert media which flows from one end to the other. Today being the International Day of Action for Rivers. So what is that kind of an action? Why river needs an action from people? Do we have river governance? There are several issues. And let us look into the very origin of this movement. I request Dr. Shiv Prasad to make me the host. So let us get into it. Everything as Professor Purushottam Reddy always refers to Stockholm Conference. It all starts with conference and then moves on to uh, can you see the screen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah,
Yes,
we are
sir.
able to.
Yeah. This is, International Day of Action for Rivers. And river taming started somewhere in 50s, and the Russians were the masters in constructing all kinds of dams. And slowly the technology spread all over the world for mega dams. This is an initiative, a collective initiative by Convergence of Sustainability, Hyderabad Democracy Forum, and Dr. TSPR channel. What is that? We should remember. Why this day is particularly earmarked for this particular event. Some small nomenclature, often we get confused with this. Location of river origin is always referred as the source. This source has biogeoclimatic diversity, very rich. Today it is threatened. All the rivers, they origin on high altitude. They have a very fragile and complex nature, diversified nature. And today, on the name of development and resource development, tourism, on the name of ecotourism, we are killing the ecology. How funny is this? And the second very important thing, very highly dynamic and rich diversity zone of a river system is the end of the river. The place where the river empties into another body. So always say it gives a lot of a philosophical and spiritual thought that at the end of the life, what is that you are going to take from here? Is it this your 100 crores and 1,000 crores scam? No. The river, it distributes all the minerals, rich minerals throughout its journey. And at the mouth of the river, where it meets the ocean, it empties itself and joins the ocean. It's a great philosophical touch. Every time I think of these two, the beginning of the life and the where you join the eternal body. In between is our journey. We see ups and downs. Rivers also go ups and down. We meet friend. When two rivers meet, it's called confluence. Yes, we meet several people who add to our strength, who add to our philosophy, who add to our thinking process, who strengthen our convictions. We learn many things from the rivers. It's time for the academicians, schools to educate, sensitize the students on these aspects to bring once again, to tap once again humanity from the human beings. Yes, rivers provide a lot of things, but we only look into the tangible benefits. We do not look into the intangible services, the river ecological services. We have just forgotten, we refuse to listen to the river. We refuse to observe the river. We need rivers just because we say it's in our Vedas. Every 12 years, go to the river, take a good dip, and wash off your sins. Come back, renew your sins on the land. That is the human behavior today. By protecting and restoring our rivers, we play a critical role in bending the biodiversity curve. This is most important. The river, whether it is a small river or a big river or a large river like Mekong, Ganges, and Brahmaputra, all they have their own rich biodiversity. Rivers and the water's nutrients they carry feed forests, wetlands, terrestrial habitats, and are home to many of the more than 1 lakh freshwater species. This is the report from World Wildlife Fund. Are we accepting this? No. It's time for us to act. It's time for us to go around the river, walk around the river. Government of India, wonderful people we have in Government of India, they are so enthusiastic to attend all the global summits, international summits, and left and right sign the agreements and come back, forget about. And the only thing back home, they do some kind of an homework. I don't say that, they just keep quiet. We also have launched National Action Plan on Climate Change and, waters and comprehensive water database. I do not have the database of my own lakes of Hyderabad. Okay. And important thing, what Government of India recognized is comprehensive water database in public domain. Do we have this? No. Second thing, promotion of citizen and state action for water conservation. Are we promoting this synergy between the citizens and the state action? No. We do not even consult. We create, these days money lobbying is something like for everything we create a special vehicle for river Musi conservation, corporation for Musi River Corporation, get the funds and spend left and right, and some third party private auditor audits it. This account does not go to the treasury, auditor general. So much of corruption is happening on the name of conservation.
Big scam.
Focused attention to vulnerable areas. Okay. And the fifth most important thing is promotion of basin level integrated water resources. We have only one river, Musi River, with origins at Anantagiri Hills, and its confluence point with Krishna River is near Suryapet. Are we talking of this? Are we talking of the tributaries of Musi? A basin-wise management? No. Three things are very important which Government of India emphasized. Data in public domain, synergy between citizens and state action, and basin level integrated approaches. All the three are missing in the entire country. Okay, I'm just elaborating the promotion of citizen and state action for strategies. Empowerment and involvement of Panchayati Raj institutions, urban local water bodies. Water User Association. It's a big joke. It is a joke of 21st century. Panchayati Raj presidents have been reduced as the contractors and municipal corporation mayors have been reduced as the political party campaigners. We don't see any democratic process in this. Then why the government of India is keeping quiet? Promote participatory irrigation and all. Okay, this is I'm hearing last 30 years. I got fed up with this. There are many. Encourage participation, particularly in planning, capacity building. Are they consulting anything? The last and the most important and slightly a dangerous thing is involve industry as the corporate social responsibility. And the fifth thing is promotion of basin level integrated water resources management. Where is the state water policy? Guidelines for water, planning on principles of integrated water resources development. Had we followed integrated water resources planning for Hyderabad and the HMDA zone, we should not have gone to Godavari and Krishna. Interbasin integration, we are not able to connect the lake basin with the river basin. Convergence among various water resources programs. I do not know. You see, they are so flourish and rosy language. Probably they hire somebody, a crazy fellow like me, to write all these things. And we all know that finally they dump in the dustbin. But today being a day of action for rivers, I am just placing through this channel to wider sections of the civil society that also includes the government and the policy makers to understand the gravity of it and realize, make yourself sensitive and act. The International Day of Action for Rivers is observed on March 14th. Okay. It was first celebrated in 1997 by the global non-profit organization International Rivers. The International Day of Action Against the Dams for Rivers, Water and Life was adopted by the participants of the first international meeting of the people affected by dams, March 1997 in Curitiba, Brazil. So everything evolves. It doesn't come, suddenly. It aims to raise awareness about the importance of rivers, the need to protect them from various threats. A rally for rivers, save lives, all those things are happening. And this year, I think we have we have almost completed a silver jubilee uh, to protect, preserve their rivers from. But how far we have achieved, how far we could sensitize, how far we could influence the policy makers. This is most important. యథా రాజా తథా ప్రజ. రాజు ఎట్లుంటే ప్రజలు అట్లుంటారు. యథా ప్రజ తథా రాజా. ప్రజలు అట్లనే ఉన్నారు, రాజులు అట్లనే. Then who saves the rivers? It's a pathetic thing and an unfortunate situation the country and the world is passing through. The rivers which nurtured the human civilization, the rivers which transformed human beings from a cave dweller to cyberman. Are we reciprocating as a cyber citizens? We neglect the rivers. అరే అయ్యా అమ్మనే అమ్ముకునే ఈ కాలంలో రివర్స్ గురించి కూడా ఆలోచిస్తున్నాం. We have to think of it. It's a great transformation from a caveman to a cyberman. But the status of river, the status of water is deteriorating. Why? It's time for us to question ourselves. Conservation of rivers is an ongoing collective effort by central and state government. And, people can read 39 rivers in 185. This is all a big joke. We don't get any information in public domains. I am very Sorry, I am very critical. My statements are very acidic. At least this time, the concerned authorities and the policy makers will wake up to the deteriorating situation, dying rivers. The Water Act enacted very good, but to what extent we are implementing is the rivers are very, apart from the regulating things and all. The communities, they had a very symbiotic relation and a symbiotic living with the river systems. And I could not visit Subarna Rekha River in Odisha, but Hasdo River in Mahanadi, sorry, in Madhya Pradesh, where the tribal women used to do the gold panning through small cloth. And it all depends on of their luck, how much they could collect gold, a pinch of gold during that particular season. So this gold panning, metallurgy, everything, connected to the river civilizations. Are we acknowledging their skills? Are we appreciating at least their skills? Whatever we are doing is we go there, exploit, including the tribals who dependent on these resources. Now, where is action, sir? Where things are going wrong? The Ministry of Water Resources, River Development, Ganga Rejuvenation, apex body for this. And our own state government has issued allotted 200 crores for riverfront beautification. సచ్చిన శవాల మీద ఇంకా ఎన్ని రోజులు పూలదండలు వేస్తాము దాని పేరు చెప్పుకొని బతుకుతాము అన్న దానికి there is no words. And government also claims that it is allotting some thousands of crores for installation of STPs and says that it doesn't need any support and guidance from the central ministry. Are we putting up something called rejuvenating systems? Or are we putting our rivers on the ventilators? It is time for the academicians, intellectuals, concerned citizens, and the so-called NGOs who are working on water with a lot of funding, they should think of it. Where are we heading to? The river Musi, which transformed the a beautiful silent valley, which had its name and glory as a pearl city, today a cyber city, a leading IT sector in the country and the world, never looks back into the river which supported the civilization. Do rivers have to die for cities? The question is, do we have an integrated urban master plan which takes care of the water resources, water courses in the urban master plan? We do not have an hydrologist and a hydrogeologist and a meteorologist in HMDA. HMDA in 2012 or 14 is declared as a body to identify potential land pieces and create, auction them and generate revenue for government. Please, sir, if anybody is interested, I can share this document. Is it not a shame? An urban planning and development body is only meant for selling away public properties? Why the people are not asking for integrating the water resources? Why we are not questioning the government? Why the architecture colleges, what is that they are teaching? A rubbish syllabus? It's time. that we have to retrofit our entire development along the Musi River on the basis of principles and practices of river ecology. We need to. And government is in a hurry to shift the sick chemical industries to the origin zone of Musi. It has already reached Chevella and soon it may reach Anantagiri Hills. What is that the opposition parties are talking about? Are they looking into any public issues? No, they are not bothered about the public issues. They are not bothered about the environment issues. They are not bothered about anything but for the power. This is the sad situation, and we have to move forward. We have to. What is that? We are giving a role model to the younger generations. Let us look into it. You see, with all this, uh, the pain, what I talked. Do rivers have rights? Yes. Article 51A says it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect, improve the natural environment, include forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. Then what making the citizen to sit at home and enjoy, sit at home and do nothing and don't even go and exercise his right for the vote? Why the citizen has become so dependent? It's time for the citizens to come out of the dependency syndrome. Look into the articles, look into your rights, your responsibilities. Yes. The countries which established river rights, Bolivia established in 2011. New Zealand established individual status of Whanganui River's Environment 2017. Individual status is nothing but on par with human rights. The New Zealand has extended the rights to river systems, recognized that they are living entities. उत्तराखंड हम लोग कहीं पीछे नहीं हटते. Uttarakhand established human rights status, living entity status to Ganga, Yamuna, Gangotri, Yamunotri. Then, okay, it's an appreciable thing. But to what extent we are already exploiting the human beings, and I do not know to what extent the Uttarakhand is implementing this in true spirit. And what happened to my state and other states? Why they are not talking about the giving such status to Musi and to their tributaries? Kerala High Court emphasized and clarified that to protect rivers is responsibility of all three governments in the country. My local government, municipalities, panchayats, state government, and the parliament. We have forgotten already about this. We are not fighting for the rights of the local governments. It is here the state governments took over the local governments' rights, and central is a mere spectator in this. Bangladesh established river rights on par with human rights. At least, you have to move, you have to think, you have to create this. It's time. It's a shame on the part of my both Telugu speaking states, except for the power. We are not talking of anything. And Musi is the second dirtiest and polluted river in this country. And still we want to have a riverfront development with 200 crores. Okay. And my state government is also eager to construct two highways on either banks of Musi. Is it not mad? Did we conduct any traffic studies? How many flyovers you want? How many roads you want? National highways are expanding, state highways are expanding. On the name of expansion of the highways, we are eating away the water bodies. It happened at Sujapeta. Almost 85 acres of lake is reclaimed for the national highway construction. So what kind of a country we are living? Do we deserve? And can we say proudly that my national anthem has all the rivers in it? Are we, respecting our own rivers, be it small or big? The industrial expansion is so, widely done in Telangana state. If the minor, rivers have gone, vanished, now we have expanding it to different parts of Krishna basin, also to the Godavari basin. Nobody made any studies on backwater flows of Kaleshwaram, which killed 30 villages, which have been successfully transformed as deserts, as sand dune zones in and around Mancheria. What is that? No studies, nothing. We do not want to do. We want to claim only the glass pans of Gachibowli and the flyovers. We are killing our natural resources. We are killing our mother river Musi. Hyderabad has its, Hyderabad is synonym to Musi. We are forgetting Musi. Musi designing, we should remember Sir Mirza Ali, who designed Musi, who designed 14 parks along the banks of Musi. And this river has two major flood diversion. One is the Firanginala, the other one is Bulkapur. Both have been ruined under the present government, not under the combined state. Then, where are we heading to? The river which gave the name and glory to Hyderabad is being buried by Hyderabadis mercilessly. Save the rivers. I did not say once again, it's now or never. My dear Hyderabadis, my dear Telangana guys, ప్లీజ్ వేకప్. ఇప్పుడన్నా కళ్ళు తెరవకపోతే ఇంకా ఏం చేసేది లేదు మనం దేశంలోని. ఎందుకు అని అంటే ప్రపంచంలో ఉన్న రివర్స్ అన్నింటిని గురించి మనం ఈరోజు తలుచుకుంటున్నాం. ఏం యాక్షన్ జరగాలి అని కూడా ఆలోచిస్తున్నాము. కానీ యాక్షన్ అన్నది మిగతా చోట్లంతటా కూడా స్టేటస్ గురించి మనం తెలుసుకుంటాం. కానీ మన రాష్ట్రానికి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఏం యాక్షన్ చెయ్యాలి అని demand those public domain, public participation and planning, integrate the river courses, river management into the urban master plans, abolish HMDA, establish a new body which takes care of water resources and the urban, under the umbrella of urban development, water resources and human beings, build a synergetic planning and development to our state, and to ensure a livable city to the younger generations and coming generations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Shivprasad Garu, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so
వండర్ఫుల్.
much. మీరు నన్ను
పురుషోత్తం,
మీరు నన్ను మీరు నన్ను షేర్ నుంచి తీసేయండి. నేను ఐ జాయిన్ ద స్క్రీన్.
యా, ఐఎమ్ రిమూవింగ్ ఇట్. కానీ వండర్ఫుల్ సార్, వండర్ఫుల్. ఇది చూసిన సిగ్గు రావాలి మన అధికారులకు. అట్లీస్ట్ ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ యూ హ్యావ్ షేమ్డ్ ఎవ్రీ వన్, రైట్ ఫ్రమ్ స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ టు సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్. అన్న పురుషోత్తమం.
At the outset, my sincere thanks to B.V. Subbarao garu,
Yes.
because he has done a lot of research. He has gone into the subject and he has brought out the many-sidedness of the problem with a special focus of India, then Hyderabad, Telangana. Believe me, friends, the people of this particular country shall be grateful to him because it is with lot of agony and anguish he spoke, and it was coming from his deep heart, and we can understand about the plight of the rivers. Now, coming to today's topic, that is from my side, I wish to point out that the world today is facing so many problems because of the kind of development model we have chosen to pursue. It is everybody's knowledge without going into the pages of history, but I need to refer. Just brief, scientific revolutions, um, scientific inventions leading to industrial revolution, leading to colonialism, imperialism, World War One and Two, and finally we come to the around 1960 when the consumer movement, environmental movement, human rights movement, they all originated mostly in America, but ultimately there was some kind of a synergy, as Subbarao Garu always points out. And this synergy it slowly influenced the world. And as I have already, often pointed out, and the world started moving in the direction of sustainability. Right from a lot of literature has been generated, right from the Silent Spring to the ongoing COP conferences at the global level. Having said this, there are some genuine problems because of the increasing capacity of nation states, their empowerment through science and technology. And today we see that nations like China are in a position to divert a whole river system. Their plan is to divert the Brahmaputra and other rivers from Himalayas. So they are going to interfere with the process of nature. And from there, to suit their narrow parochial interests, because they think that diversion is development, but they don't understand the environmental implications of such diversions. Similarly, we have problems regarding the rivers that flow through several countries. For example, in Africa, there are growing tensions regarding the volume of water that will continue to flow in the river Nile. Everybody needs water. Water is the biggest input in their development. And therefore, since water is needed by everyone, or by all the nations, now that the upstream uh, nation states in Africa, all those states which are upstream to Egypt, they like, Ethiopia, all the countries, they also need water. All these years, they did not have the technology or the ways and means of harvesting. And now that they are supported by international funding agencies and some other countries, though an individual country may not have that technology, but they are aided by some countries with superior technology, they are able to build dams. Okay. And sometimes it is projected as if building dams by itself is development. So dams have been equated with development. But we are a witness to a world where dams have literally collapsed. Dams have failed. And the number of such failures failed dams is increasing by the day. In our own, Telugu state, we had the collapse of the Kadam project, and so many other small little reservoirs have collapsed. And during the rainy season, we often read and see on the TV now about the the tanks collapsing because of the heavy flooding. So many things are happening. The issue is that humanity has gone in the wrong direction. Our numbers are increasing by the day. Already 8 million population, 800 crores, and therefore 800 crore mouths to be fed. And the governments think that building a dam is the only way to increase productivity, to, to ensure some nutrition is provided to the increasing numbers. This is one aspect. Secondly, in the name of development, we can witness that more in Hyderabad. Throughout the world, you have umpteen number of examples. Almost every river in the world is getting increasingly polluted. Hyderabad is a classic example, as rightly pointed out by our Professor Subbarao Garu. The point is increasing activity, increasing industrialization, particularly in the context of Hyderabad, it is pharmaceuticals. So what are they doing? They are producing bulk drugs to, and they think they are trying to uh, cater to the health of the globe. By producing bulk drugs, though we have excellent laws, we have virtually dysfunctional institutions. In नाम के वास्ते Pollution Control Board, and even whatever institutions we have created subsequently, like NGT, and even the entire judicial process, right from the lower courts to the highest, we find that very often they may give, and they have been giving excellent judgments, but they don't bother to ensure that the compliance of their own orders. And this is resulting in a situation where the regional governments, they don't bother to control pollution because they think that industrialization per se is development. So the more the industry, they think it is development. That is why particularly Telangana government, and the government shamelessly says that we will give all permissions within 3 weeks, and subsequently they reduced it to 2 weeks, as if giving all permissions to the industry is a top priority. What is more important is we need to balance and try to understand the environmental implications of the siting of these industries. What are their raw materials? What is their product? What is its impact? Its impact on air pollution, water pollution, and what about the hazardous waste and the solid waste, etc., etc. No questions asked. Permissions are given, and the government thinks just simply allowing the industries to come up is development. What is the impact of this kind of reckless, careless, hazardous, dangerous industrialization? What is its impact on the people? I want the government to go to the people in Chittanur, in all the surrounding areas of Hyderabad, right from Patancheru, Nacharam, Didimatla, and virtually see for themselves. Not that they are not aware, but why are they turning a blind eye to the problems? What is the position of the people there? Suddenly, an industry is announced, and all permissions are given. And nowadays, they have taken some of these industrial permissions directly come from center, and the state government says, no, we are not the ones who are giving permissions. It is the central government. For example, in the case of ethanol, ethanol permissions are directly flowing from the center to the states, and the farmers are caught unawares. They have no way to go. In fact, they have approached NGT. NGT has given token orders. Nothing much is happening on that front. So sometimes, as a professor in political science, I have genuine doubts whether we are a democracy, whether our constitution is really a transformative document, as we are very, as we would like to uh, view the constitution. Is it bringing about the change it intends to bring about? What happens to the preamble, that excellent preamble that we have? And what happens to Part 3 of India's constitution, the chapter on fundamental rights? We have a chapter on directive principles. And we have already more than 100 amendments have been passed. In addition to this, we have a large number of landmark judgments which amount to amendments in the Constitution. On paper, our Constitution seems to be working, but in reality, justice is not percolating down to the masses. There is what is known as a big, huge justice gap, a huge justice gap, and this was rightly pointed out by the recent uh, Chief Justice recently from Singapore. Chief Justice came and he gave a wonderful lecture with our own Chief Justice besides Justice Chandrachud. Them together they were there on the dais with several other judges, and what a great speech it was. Singapore is, after all, a very small country, and Singapore is able to provide justice to the people in a very transparent way. Digitization has taken place. People can, on their own, access to the judicial system. The only silver lining about India's judiciary is the public interest litigation. And PIL definitely, as was, during its heyday, when we had Justice Krishna Iyer, Justice Kuldeep Singh Bhagwati, Justice Bhagwati, aided by Mr. M.C. Mehta, all these people, they contributed immensely to ensure that the common man who is having a genuine problem is able to knock the doors of justice. Unfortunately, even public interest litigation right now, as one who has been witnessing its origin and progress during the last 4 decades, I can tell that it has become increasingly difficult for the people to knock the doors of judiciary. And what is ironic is, I have been telling this point umpteen number of times, that occasionally the courts do give extraordinary judgments, but they don't bother to ensure that these judgments are complied with. So people are losing faith in the judiciary. Don't blame the people because they are not performing any contempt of court. Only they have been knocking the doors for justice, and the judiciary is not responding the way it ought to. Anyway, coming to once again to the plight of the rivers. All Indian rivers are highly contaminated. What we find that is flowing in the rivers is not water, but it is poison, particularly in the context of Kanpur, at the point where Ganga and Yamuna, converge and flow through the most polluted cities of India. Kanpur is one classical example where you have the leather industries, and it is the toxicity in the water at that level is at that point is the highest. Another important reason is the entire sewage that is generated in urban India, believe me, it is all flowing into by gravity, it flows into the rivers. So what flows during the non-monsoon period time is nothing but sewage. It's not just Musi, it is every river in this country. It contains only sewage and sewage and sewage. Anyway, In addition to this, as if this is not enough, the rivers are being encroached upon, and you have all kinds of mafias where the river bed is dug, and sand, the river sand is taken away. The wealth of the people is being cornered by the few. At this point, Dr. TSPR channel has been highlighting umpteen number of times. The question is, the common man, the common citizen of this country, all the people, they are losing what is normally described as the common property resources. The rivers are not only getting polluted, they are being encroached upon, and they have become the dumping yards of garbage. Come on, let us go trek the distance from the Purana Pool to Chadargarh Bridge or even downstream. The entire Musi, on either side of the Musi, you find the garbage being dumped. And all this is happening in front of the High Court, in front of the HMDA, particularly Hyderabad, because it's the seat of the governance. The governor is there, chief minister is there, all the MLAs are here, 150 corporators are here. We have a mayor, we have Lokayutta, we have so many things on paper, everything is fine. We have a human rights commission. Now, people are asking, okay, in spite of having created so many securities and institutions for the protection of the people and their quality of life, what is happening? Come on, let us evaluate and see whether to what extent have these wonderful, glorious institutions established in the name of providing justice, have they really done their job? We have universities which don't respond to the needs of the people. 100-year-old Osmania University and so many other universities in Hyderabad now, private universities have come up. We have central government research stations in Hyderabad, IICT, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, which prefers to maintain silence and not speak on the issues suffering by the people. We have CCMB. We have so many other organizations. Don't they, is it not their duty to understand? I mean, for those who know, and if they don't act, there is a very famous Chinese saying, if, if you know, you need to act. And if you are not acting, it means that you do not know. Only an ignorant person can afford not to act. But I can't understand the highest quality universities and research centers and organs of the government, empowered with all kinds of legislation, global treaties. When the whole world is talking about about the need to protect the rivers, why are these low institutions which are located in India, and why are they not doing their job? Somebody needs to ask, because they are paid by the public, and as a member of the public, I am asking this question. We are paying them, they are all public servants, and they don't function. Nothing is visible except that they go to their offices 10 to 5 or 9 to 5. And what is the big performance? So there are a large number of issues. So on this occasion of International Day for the Protection of the Rivers, I would like to explain that it is not only the rivers between sovereign countries. For example, we have Euphrates and Tigris, which originate in Turkey, flow through Syria, enter Iraq. You have three main states, and I have visited Turkey twice on their invitation, and I have witnessed Turkey, which has built four major dams, two on Euphrates and two on Tigris, You can imagine the downstream country, Syria, voicing its concern. And, there was a tussle between these two countries and even between Syria and Iraq. So definitely the world has to take up these issues. It's not just about Nile, it is about Ganga also. There is always a tussle between Bangladesh and India on the volume of water that flows through Ganga into Bangladesh. Any reduction in the volume, you find the Bangladesh government voicing its concern. So there are tensions regarding the river Indus between India and Pakistan. All the rivers which flow through so many countries between India and China, and even elsewhere in Amazon, the entire northern part of South America, which is the command area of Amazon. You can include all the countries apart from Brazil. You find so many other countries, Chile. All these countries, their catchment area is in the Amazon basin. And, there is a huge and massive destruction of the forests. It's not just building of the dams. Destruction of the forests is going to affect the Amazon River itself. So it is a global problem. That is why in this very channel, once when we were discussing the reforms that the United Nations should undertake, on one occasion we said that all the rivers which flow through countries, so many countries, because no individual country can protect them, and to ensure some kind of a uniformity when it comes to the understanding and protection of rivers. The United Nations has to take it up, create a facility. We already have at the UN level the United Nations Trusteeship Council. So these are rivers should, UN should become the trustee of all the rivers in the world. Recently, I'm happy there was a huge item, and that is by 2030, 30% of the global oceans will be under the protection of the UN. That is, they are viewed as global commons, and there has been an agreement recently between the nations of the world, and 30% they have decided to place 30% of the oceans under for the protection under the supervision of UN. Similarly, we have the North Pole, South Pole, and all the rivers and wonderful ecosystems, biodiversity reserves, huge mountain ranges like the Himalayas, the Rockies, and the Andes, and so many very exclusive areas like what we call the coastlines of the world. Everything has to be taken care of. For this, the contemporary world must undergo a process of change, which we call it as a major paradigm shift. The present model of development is not going to help us, and therefore, a paradigm shift in favor of environment, in favor of different ecosystems. That is the need of the hour, and we should draw inspiration from my friend who has spoken with so much of agony and anguish, Superover, and people like him throughout the world. David Attenborough or MC Mehta, globally speaking, all those who have written so much right from the days of Rachel Carson. Similarly, Dennis Meadows and so many people contributed. Recognizing their contributions, the time has now come that we, the people living on this planet, spread over in different nations, we all need to come together once again as convergence for sustainability. And this is where we are grateful to Dr. TSPR channel and my friend Subbarao Garu for the wonderful initiative he has taken. Thank you, Anam.
Thanks.
Wonderful, Anna. Wonderful. I think you have given sufficient data. Now, the onus is right from Prime Minister to Chief Minister, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, the Home Minister, both are competing with each other to contest from Mahbub Nagar, which is the Krishna River basin. Now, through this state demand, will you stop this project which you have sanctioned, which you are forcing state government also, that ethanol project, Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah? First, you take it up on this Rivers Day. Action for river. We demand that Mr. Modi and Amit Shah come out clean, that you are environmentalist, that you love nature. By your deeds, here is a best chance for you. Take away or desanction the project called ethanol, which is going to destroy the Krishna basin and may pollute the Krishna river itself, and also en route it will contaminate right from land, water to air in that basin. So we demand that. Not only that, the linking of rivers, as pointed out by both of them, it is highly dangerous, because never go against the nature. We have seen Ken Betwa, a big river converging into a small river. How nonsensical it is. People are laughing. People are laughing. So don't venture into that type of things. Like that, our chief minister here, we are demanding him, what is that you have done to protect rivers? Chalo, Krishna and Godavari, Kaleshwaram corruption, this channel has done so many shows. They have not come forward, even including central government, to probe. They just make comments and run away. What has happened to that scam, God knows. Krishna, Palamur Rangareddy lift irrigation scheme, what happened to that? And what is the share on Krishna River? Till today, neither Modi or Amit Shah nor the central government is ready to take it up or clear that, nor Mr. KCR, who has just given away Krishna Basin. So this is the fate of these rivers, at least to Musi, which flows in Telangana from Vikarabad and ends at Suryapet. All those TRS, BRS ministers, MLAs, what are you doing? People will not leave you, as they are going to teach a lesson of the Krishna Basin politicians. They have allowed Krishna River utilization to go dry for the Krishna Basin, Dakshina Telangana. Similar fate will befall on those who are going to neglect Musi. They have converted Musi into a garbage den or dumping yard for sewage. And not only that, now they have started to encroach entire Musi, left and right, along with that canals. And they have even dared to encroach Usman Sagar, Himayat Sagar. 1908, after floods, Mokshagundam Vishweswaraya Garu, to protect Hyderabad, he has devised these water bodies. Hyderabad Kishan Gandipet, Musi, they're all being encroached in the name of real estates, so that Hyderabad is going to be in imminent danger, because water and elephant will never forget their way, as has happened in 1908. What will you do if you just encroach water bodies, rivers, nalas, the doomsday for all the citizens? That is why a wake up call for all the citizens. Politicians are elected by us. We are constitutional authority. Why are we keeping quiet? When our public servants, they are trying to destroy our present living, endangering the lives or the future for our kith and kin, why should we keep quiet? And for how long? Now, this is the day you should start acting. Only then these governments or these politicians and these administrators, under the garb of politician, that politician, administrator, media, and their mafia nexus, is looting our natural resources which belong to every citizen, enslaving us and making us to work in such environmental destructive areas. That is not, as that is not enough, day in and day out, you have seen the land area also being encroached upon in the name of development, leaving little for people to breathe fresh air or oxygen or potable water, that is going to create a serious existential crisis, and we have to blame ourselves. Subhanagar, end.
Uh, no, it's not that we three are bent upon campaigning Save the Rivers. We are actually interested in you. We want to save you, the human man, because whatever flows in rivers, streams, flows in your arteries and veins. So, if you want to protect your heart, you have to have a perfect, clean blood flow without blockages. If you block the river, you are blocking your arteries. So, with this message, I want to say you save yourself and then save the river. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Do support DRTSPR channels, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. Subscribe, share, and support. They are all larger public interest. So the onus is on you. Save yourself, save your body, your heart, your lungs, and arteries, everything. Otherwise, you are gone along with you. The entire river's nature is gone. Becomes difficult for your survival. What is that you are going to preserve and save for your own kith and kin? Become selfish, at least now. Thank you, sir. Wonderful toast
Thank
you
you.
once again.
Thank you.
Wonderful.